All right, golfers, we're going to talk about the right way for you to close your club face in today's video because a lot of people that have an open club face on the downswing, they don't know whether they should just strengthen their grip or if they should add flexion to the wrist. And what you decide to do is actually very important. So I'm going to kind of lay out two scenarios. Let's assume that we're trying to close the club face in both scenarios. So if you're a golfer who has an extended lead wrist at the top, but the golf club comes down on a very nice plane, that means that you have really good trail shoulder movement and you may have really good forearm rotation in transition, and the golf club falls behind you, it shallows really nicely, but your lead wrist stays in extension. Well, in that scenario, I wouldn't want you to flex your lead wrist, and here's why. As we do that, the golf club falls even further behind me. So now I've added too many shallowing elements. I get this trail elbow in the right spot and I flex the lead wrist with my forearm rotation, and now the golf club is too shallow. When in reality, with your extended lead wrist, although the face was open, you actually managed the pitch of the shaft quite well and you were able to come down into the ball from a shallow position. In that scenario, it's actually more advantageous to just change the grip and leave the wrist angles alone, because adding flexion to the lead wrist will actually get you too shallow. Now let's go to the other end of the spectrum. What if you're a golfer who has the golf club too steep on the way down and your lead wrist is extended? Well, obviously, when we start the downswing and the lead wrist stays in extension, that is a steepening element. It means the golf club gets too vertical. From this position here, with the face open and the shaft vertical, you've got a couple options. None of them are real great. We can swing way outside in on the ball and we can hit some low pulls and some high slices, or we can start making some compensations with the pivot to get the swing direction to be a little straighter. One of them is a form of early extension, where now the swing direction is straighter. I've compromised some other elements, but I did get the swing direction straighter when I sort of tucked my pelvis in and moved my chest back, right? The other thing we can do is we can really get the lead side higher and the trail side lower, and that's going to get the swing direction straighter as well. The face is still open, but it is getting my swing direction straighter into the golf ball. If you're that golfer with the extended lead wrist and the shaft gets vertical, then for you, it would actually be more beneficial not to worry so much. You may need to make small adjustments to the grip, but learning to flex the wrist in transition is going to not only close the club face, but it's going to get the shaft in a shallower position. This is important because now if you do that crazy tilt away from the target move, or if you early extend, well, now the golf club is in too shallow of a position. So by getting the wrist from extension to flexion, we've now closed the face and gotten the golf club in a shallow position. From here, there's no need to suck the pelvis in. All we need to do, and there's no need to side bend like crazy or tilt out of the shot. Instead, we just need to rotate, and now we have the swing direction aimed very straight. So when you're looking at how to close your club face, it depends on a couple different variables. Don't just guess which one is better for you. Make sure you see it on video and decide for yourself, okay?